Ullozhukku opens with a smiling Parvathy looking at the camera. She's Anju, a sales girl at a sari store, posing for her customers, who quickly move on to some other options on display. We see two more girls at the same job, trying to address their customers. Quite a casual sequence on the surface, otherwise intended to set up the background of Anju that also sets up the premise of things to come. A touching tale of women, bruised souls hiding behind delusions and smiles, of their constant tussle between perceptions and beliefs and their consistent negotiations with life as it brings up new twists and turns. It is about mothers as they invite new life and constantly trade off for the cause of their children. It's also about how they mirror each other in their conflicts and decisions, even though they appear to be very different human beings from a distance. Based on his own script that fetched the top prize at Cinestan's Script Lab in 2017, beating Lapata Ladies, which won the runner-up award, Christo Tomy's debut feature film is a winner all through, never letting go of its intensity and depth across the 123-minute runtime. The plot is simple enough, and Christo builds his ground quite quickly through a series of snippets of Anju's life. She is pushed into marriage with Thomas Kutty from a well-to-do family from Kuttanad, breaking away from her love interest Rajiv, who doesn't have enough financial security to stand by Anju. We meet Leelamma, Anju's mother-in-law, the doting matriarch of a new family, and we also find Thomas Kutty suffering from some serious ailments as both Leelamma and Anju spend their days caring for him. In a twist of fate, Thomas Kutty succumbs to his illness, and it's at this point director Christo Tomy leaves you stranded as you deliberate within yourself, much like the characters on the screen, of what is the right thing for them to do from here on. You easily figure out things till this point from the trailer, and then Christo's artistry kicks in as emotions override events. Is it a blessing in disguise for Anju? Can she finally settle into a life of her choice? What does it mean for Leelamma, who is holding on to Anju's unborn baby as her only hope and support for life? Christo Tomy gets you hooked into the discourse through the spectrum of morality, much like a thriller. Just to get the stakes higher, there's a secret which every character is hiding, and as things get revealed, your alliances shifts and villains emerge in your mind, as we are conditioned to make villains out of women. It is heartwarming to find a man advocating for the woman we watch so beautifully, reminding us of Celine Sciamma films. Look at how Christo Tomy puts up two familiar social norms against each other. A housewife involved in an extramarital affair being frowned upon without delving into the details of her situation, and a mother-in-law expecting her daughter-in-law to lead a life of compromise like she has done in her own life. A mother-to-be and a mother of a bereaved son looking at each other, a funeral in progress just as an impending birth is announced, a woman who wants to leave and another woman holding on to her to stay back. As we mentioned earlier, Christo Tomy's subtle writing creates these mirrors and mirages across the screenplay, as you realize in hindsight how Leelamma and Anju are all but the same, distanced by age but overlapping in their constraints and misapprehensions. We are appraised that Leelamma wanted to pursue a medical career, but a conventional family life was dumped onto her, much like Anju. Anju reprimands Leelamma for being delusional, considering her stale, unloving life to be envy-worthy. But is she not herself delusional for her love life? At one point, Leelamma says Anju that perhaps she understands her more than others, and you cannot agree more. You also watch another mother in the mix of things, similarly delusional in her idea of happiness of her child, ending up in suffocating her all the more. Look at how Ullozhukku gets women to carry the cross of patriarchy, how they unknowingly through their hopes and beliefs pass on their burdens through generations that they look up to as morality. The male characters are all impactful in their limited screen presence, equally endorsing this patriarchy in their own ways. Not that they are misogynist beasts like you would find in lesser films, but children of a prejudiced society that thrive on gender inequality. You feel for the ailing Thomas Kutty, shrugged by Anju on his bed, as you expect Anju to be considerate towards the frail man, like all those compromising women in our inner circles. You feel for Rajiv, who hasn't stopped feeling for Anju even after she gets married. But is that love beyond social reservations or financial considerations remains the question. And you also feel for Anju's father, helpless after a point as he doesn't know ways other than the conventional outlook to take care of her daughter. As they say, fight the crime and not the criminals. Christo Tomy brilliantly creates his case against the societal fallacies and not the characters who are all caught up with it. Ullozhukku's mirrors and mirages thus become self-reflective for the audience as you take away whatever you put into it. It is the atmosphere and not the dialogues that lends this voice to Christo, supported by Sushin Shyam's touching music. It is the way things are left unspoken through passing looks and pausing silences. It is the way he uses the pouring rains and flooded visuals of Kuttanad that perhaps has clutched onto the characters like old beliefs, not ready to dissipate. It is the way the mortal remains of Thomas Kutty remain afloat, not wanting to let go, like the ghosts of our past, putting Anju and Leelamma in their respective prisons. And then near the end of the film, we watch the mothers sailing through these waters, carrying that dead body as they empathize with each other in sisterhood, as the camera zooms out to show Mother Nature embracing them all. Now, all of these would have made little sense without the two towering performances that Ullozhukku stands on. Parvathy is in top form, expressing the suffocation of Anju in all her scenes. Look out for the scene as she shelves the memories of Thomas Kutty, trying to earn some space and relief. Watch her expressing her dilemma and guilt as the owners of her secrets leads to Leelamma's rising hopes, and that moving scene at the interval as things spill out. And what do we say about Urvashi in arguably her finest performance, as pain, hope, anger, care of a mother oozes out of each of her expressions and scenes. Your heart misses a beat as she asks Anju if she's sure of whatever she's saying, as her hopes come crashing down at the interval revelation. That scene where prayers are ongoing in front of her son's body as she insists Anju to sit beside will forever be chiseled in our hearts. Contemporary Malayalam cinema has portrayed the moving picture of a mother beautifully in films like Sudani from Nigeria or Saudi Velakka, and Ullozhukku comes as another pearl bound to the same string. This is as good a film for female actor chemistry as any in Indian cinema. Take a bow, ladies. Ullozhukku is a story of grief in multiple forms that women have faced across ages. It is a story of women pushed to corner, shamed in public, with nothing left to lose, only to find solace in each other. It is a story of forgiveness, which still might be distant in real life, but a shelter in real. It is about motherhood that transcends blood relations out of care and empathy. It is about hope as two broken souls take on a ride together, preparing to take on the world. Well, what is cinema if not hope for the broken? We will leave you at that for today. Thank you for watching.